They opened the door. Humanity walked in. The distress signal had been echoing through deep space for decades. No one answered, until they did. The alien species, known as the Alliens, were ancient, older, than most stars in the outer spiral. They had conquered hundreds of civilizations, studied thousands more, and erased anything they couldn't control. To them, fear was a tool. And tonight, they wanted to study it. Their target? A small, insignificant blue planet, Earth. Species classification? The overseer asked. A hologram flickered to life. Humans, weak, emotional, divided, primitive technology. High aggression but low survival capability. The chamber hummed. Perfect, the overseer whispered. They didn't invade. They took one. A single human. A soldier. When he woke up, he was strapped to a metallic table inside a cold, glowing chamber. Strange symbols crawled across the walls like living things. The air itself felt wrong. Watching him were tall, thin beings with black reflective eyes. Subject conscious, one of them hissed. The human blinked, then smiled. Interesting reaction, another noted. Begin fear induction. The lights went out. Darkness swallowed everything. Then, a sound. Soft at first, scratching. From behind the walls, the human didn't move. The scratching grew louder, closer. Something was inside the chamber with him now, breathing. Heavy. What? A creature emerged, something stitched together from nightmares. Too many limbs. Eyes where they shouldn't be. A mouth that opened, and kept opening. This was the Alliens' greatest weapon. Fear made flesh. Heart rate. The overseer asked. Stable. A what? The creature lunged. In a blur. The human moved. Not away. Forward. Chain snapped. Metal screamed. The soldier grabbed the creature, midair, and slammed it into the ground with bone-crushing force. The chamber shook. The creature shrieked, then went silent. Impossible, one alien whispered. The human stood there, breathing slowly, calmly, like he'd done this before. Send more, the overseer ordered. They did. Dozens, each one worse than the last. Each one designed to break the mind, to shatter sanity, to make the subject beg. But the human? He didn't beg. He fought. Every nightmare they created, he destroyed. Minutes turned into hours. Hours into something else. The aliens started noticing something disturbing. The fear creatures were hesitating. They're reacting to him, one scientist said. They're afraid. The overseer stepped forward. That's impossible. They are fear. The human looked up, straight at them. Even through the glass, even through dimensions. And for the first time, the overseer felt something unfamiliar. A crack in logic, a fracture in certainty. What are you? It demanded. The human tilted his head, blood on his face, a slow grin forming. You wanted to study fear? He stepped closer. The walls began to tremble, not from force, but from something deeper. On my planet. His voice dropped, cold, heavy. We don't run from monsters. The lights flickered violently. Systems began to fail. The creatures in containment units started screaming, trying to escape, trying to get away. Why? The overseer shouted. Why are they reacting like this? The answer came from one of their own trembling scientists. Because they're not the worst thing in the room anymore. Silence. The human placed his hand against the glass. It cracked. They made you believe fear was your weapon. He leaned in closer, eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. But fear? A pause. A breath. That's how we survive. The glass shattered. Alarms screamed across the ship. Red lights bathed the corridors. Creatures broke free, but instead of attacking the human, they ran. Away. From him. One by one, the Alliens disappeared into the shadows. Some fled. Some hid. Some didn't make it. Hours later, the ship was silent. Dead. Floating in space like a tomb. A single transmission activated. Sent across the stars, across galaxies. A warning. Do not engage Earth. Do not take humans. They do not fear the dark. A pause. Static. They are the dark. And somewhere in the endless void, a human voice whispered, "Send more." The ship was no longer theirs. It belonged to him. Footsteps echoed in the hollow corridors, slow, heavy, intentional. The Varelians hid in the shadows, but shadows didn't protect them anymore, because he moved through them. One alien ran. It didn't get far. A hand grabbed it from the darkness. A scream. Cut short. Security systems activated. Lasers, drones, defense protocols. All failed. Seal the core, the overseer shouted. Don't let him reach. Too late. The door exploded inward. Smoke cleared. The human stepped in, unstoppable. You wanted to study us, he said quietly. And now you will understand. The last survivor trembled, broadcast panel shaking in its hands. Say it, the human ordered. The alien swallowed, activated the transmission. This is a warning. Voice broken, fear real. We were wrong about humans. They don't break. They don't fear. The human stepped closer, eyes glowing in the dark. They adapt, the alien whispered. A pause. Tears, something their species had never known before. And when they're pushed, it looked at him. They become something worse than monsters. Silence. The human leaned in. One final sentence. Cold, certain. Tell them. The transmission crackled across the galaxy. Earth is not prey. The warning was ignored. Weeks later, a massive Varelian fleet appeared near Earth. Ships darkened the sky. Weapons charged. Primitive planet, their commander said. Easy victory. Then, a signal reached them from one of their lost ships. The same human voice. Calm. Waiting. You still don't understand. Radar screens flickered. Something moved among their fleet. Fast, silent. One ship exploded. Then another. No enemy detected. No target locked. Panic spread. He's here, one alien whispered. The human voice returned. Closer now. You didn't just find Earth. A pause. You invited us. The battle didn't last long. It never does. The Varelians had weapons, technology, numbers. But humans, they had something else. Every time a ship fell, another human stood stronger. Not because they couldn't be broken, but because they refused to stay broken. The last alien commander watched in horror. Why, won't you stop? A human soldier, bruised and bleeding, looked up at the burning sky and smiled. Because fear isn't our weakness. He stepped forward, through fire, through chaos. It's our fuel. Silence fell across space. The fleet, gone. And Earth? Still standing. Humans aren't fearless. We just choose to stand anyway.